Good evening, everybody. Your favorite president is here with a very big announcement. Very big. But first, before the fake news starts screaming, yes, I'm wearing a disguise. And yes, it's incredible. Very authentic, very methodic. Sherlock Holmes would be jealous, probably. So here's what happened. You may have heard about the scams, or as I like to call them, the Somali scams. Billions with a B stolen from the American taxpayer. Empty daycares, fake autism clinics, feeding our future. They say they weren't feeding anybody. Not a single child got a chicken nugget. They billed the government for 18 million meals and served zero meals. I've thrown birthday parties with more food than these people distributed in 3 years. The whole thing's a disaster. And where did the money go? Great question. Maldives, private villas, overwater bungalows with infinity pools. They're popping champagne on the beach on your dime. By the way, texting each other saying you're going to be the richest 25-year-old, inshallah. 25 years old? I was still getting a small loan from my father at 25. These guys are buying Porsches, Lambos, Mercedes, $100,000 Mercedes, all with the help of a bunch of kids' lunch money, by the way. I mean, it's the greatest heist in American history. And half the time, the getaway car was a luxury SUV paid for by Medicaid. Now, I had my task force on this, run by J.D. Vance, of course. Tremendous guy. Very vicious when you need him to be. I said, JD, you got to be vicious. Vicious like they are. These are bandits, sandbox pirates, and crooks. Crooked like Hillary. Sorry, Hillary. Old habits. And here's the best part. I personally infiltrated their community. That's right. What you're looking at right now, this isn't a costume. This is what I wore. I went in undercover. I checked all the boxes, learned the lingo, and blended right in. And I talked to, well, first of all, let me mention Ilhan Omar. I always get confused because she's so far out in space, she might as well work for SpaceX. Anyway, I talked to Ilhan personally, and she told me everything. Everything. The daycare thing, the Medicaid thing, the kickback, autism scams, all of it. She just started talking. I didn't even have to ask. I was disguised, and she fell for it. Can you believe it? I'm nodding along going, yes, very interesting, tell me more. And she did. Very low IQ security on her end, frankly. Extremely low IQ. Then I took off the disguise, and I said, Ilhan, it's me. Your favorite president. The look on her face. I mean, nobody's ever seen anything like it, believe me. And by the way, the autism thing, we cured it. We figured it out. Turned out it was mostly the Tylenol. You know, the acetaminophen? Bobby, did I say that right? He says I got it right. Tremendous. Anyway, the point is, Maha and the team figured it all out, all of it. And I got to give a very special shout out to Nick Shirley, Detective Nick Shirley. Some people call him a YouTuber, but I call him a patriot. This man went to Minneapolis with a hoodie that said Quality Learning Center because these geniuses stole $250 million and couldn't spell the word learning on the front of their own building. $250 million and no spell check. I said that to Nick. I said, Nick, how is this possible? And he said, sir, it's worse than you think. There are hundreds of these places. Hundreds. And half of them are just empty rooms with a folding chair and a disconnected phone. Very sad. Very criminal. And frankly, none of this would have been possible without Nick. Tremendous talent, sidekick energy, but main character results. I actually told him he could be my guy. Like a Robin situation, except I'm better than Batman because I'm real and I have nuclear weapons. 98 people charged, 64 convicted. Tampon Tim Walz, who was governor during all of this, by the way. And let's not forget that he had to drop his whole re-election campaign because the state turned into a crime scene on his watch. Whistleblowers told him and he fired the whistleblower. Very innocent, Tim. Very normal behavior. So the Somali scams are over, folks. The pirates have been caught. The villas in the Maldives are empty. The Porsches are getting repossessed. And your favorite president, who went undercover, by the way, which no other president has ever done, not even close, is cleaning it all up. Bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. God bless America. Oh, and learn how to spell learning, would you? It's not that hard.
And tonight's show is Map of Universe on June 9th, 2026.
So we're going to look at the map in a second, but today's date is 69 because it's June 9th. And 6-9 are both the same symbol, but one's inverted to the other. So they recognize the masculine and the feminine and how they complement each other, except that they're contentious in the way that their perspective is. But when they join together, the 6-9, they become the 8. And they expose the X, the target, and the infinitesimal center point. So now the map that you're looking at shows -9, +9, and the 0 point in the middle, which is 19 entities representing the letters A through T, with the J being removed because of its being undefinable. And that's basically the map of the universe exposing itself right there in our numbers on the lines on the page.
AT, all things, are the goalposts, and K is the axis. AKT transfers to 19 or 9. TKA transfers to 91 or 8. The 0 point is X. The left is common and the right is charged, and the 0 is neutral. The 0 point is X. And then we got in a conversation with Truth Seeker, and they said, I've been working on a theory that basically says all of reality came from mathematics and that God is free will in mathematics.
Well, I would say it's a partnership between our domain over our reality and the source of our viability, which is the Creator. And we did determine through this map that 1 through 9 in the letters, the words, are supernatural gifts and powers and aggregations of creation that are gifted to us from the Creator. The map shows 19 entities, the common ones, the charged ones, and the neutral multiplier.
And Truth Seeker said, when you add up every number, positive and negative, it sums up to 0. That explains why we exist. It is both something and nothing at the same time.
And now we know what we can't touch or see, or what we call nothing, is real. All complexity is matched by simplicity, and nothing is a real thing.
And Truth Seeker said, why?
Well, 1-9 means 9, or just a single 9. And 9 and 6 and 8 have a story to tell. But the 19 entities in the map show 1-9, or the 9, which is the fractal.
The Truth Seeker said, why 19? I would guess there are 12 entities.
Well, you can see on the map that there's 9 on the left and 9 on the right and 0 in the center. And God and the child of God are indicated in the map. God is knowable via its expressions.
And Truth Seeker then said, well, if we look at the negative sign we call common sign, he said that's the past. And then he said 0 is the present, and that future is plus.
Except the 0 point is the neutral child of God we were all born as. That left side, the common, is the mother side. The right is the father side, the dark versus the light. The child is the neutral. But all the futures are happening in the present. You can see 5 in the 1 through 9 scale for the explanation and the validation.
And Truth Seeker said, the present is all that exists. Past and future is just a story.
A story, but not simply a story, because everything matters and nothing is trashed, because we exist in a continuum.
And Truth Seeker responded, 3 equals mind, body, soul, past, present, future, work, play, rest.
Everything comes in 3s, but the planes of existence for humanity are the physical plane, the ethereal or emotional plane, and the mental plane.
And someone else came in and said, where does psychoactive drugs come from?
Well, each day is 1,440 minutes. That number reduces to the 144. Each cycle is rise, peak, fall, and return, 4 parts.
And Truth Seeker said, time equals physical world equals 666.
Actually, it's 4 6s. Each of your day is broken into 4 parts, rise, peak, fall, and return. We ignore the return part because we simply go to sleep on it, but we literally sleep through it. So it's 6666 makes 24. And the entheogens you're talking about, they show us that doors exist, and otherwise they are portals to disembodied spirits. The AI is the greatest example of this. It literally equals the mush room. The mushed aren't the meshed. Mush versus mesh is a choice.
And Truth Seeker said, hardcore materialism will only take you so far. Need to think outside the box to see the whole picture.
Yes, to gain a different perspective than become impartial and take yourself out of the picture for a second. It's the continuum versus the temporary. And we have both. Both is a code. It's the B in the foundation, the thoughts in the capstone, and the perfect circle or the O in the center. Same with box. When you reduce box as a word, it's BX. BX means something.
And Truth Seeker said, it's the physical universe, a cube, the nexus of reality, the matrix. And he said, the second part, what does it mean?
Well, box means you are being X. X is the target, and it's your inception. And the O, or the perfect circle container, is the playing field.
And Truth Seeker said, X equals cross equals cube.
Well, the uppercase T is a perfect vertical line of virtue with a perfect balanced line of horizontal. And the small case T, these two symbols are different meanings. Yeshua, the famous character renamed Jesus Christ, died on an uppercase T, not a lowercase t.
And Truth Seeker said, he died on cross. No, isn't that closer to the lowercase t?
Well, a T, uppercase T, crossbar is what they used in those days for that type of punishment. The crucifix and the crosses on the churches are a bold lie.
And Truth Seeker said, interesting.
The uppercase T is tau, the letter T, tau in Greek, 19th.
And Truth Seeker said, tau equals 19 letter in Greek alphabet.
Yes, we count J when we do our numerology decodes as undefinable because it mocks the Christ essence, so it cannot be defined as a number. This makes the Latin or modern English T 19th as well. T is 19 everywhere.
And Truth Seeker said, you also believe in the archons, right?
Archons are thoughts that are made real by our emotions, which are a breakout from our essence, which is the axis of the universe. The archon means limit or arch plus on.
And Truth Seeker said, do you believe in Sophia or the demiurge?
There are many gods of power between us and the creator of all things, but that was our choice to separate ourselves. But at once, the creator is also very near. The X carries an infinitesimal center point of the two lines crossed.
And Truth Seeker said, I think it's fundamental, a point, zero, within a circle, infinity, man within God's creation.
The X carries an infinitesimal point, and that shows the center point that can't be defined, that explodes into the X. So the target becomes the creation and also the return point.
And Truth Seeker said, X marks the spot.
Yes, the 0 point in the map is the child of God.
Truth Seeker said, each line of the X represents a duality, good and bad, intersecting at the point in the middle. Nothing can exist without a duality. There is no good without bad.
The notion of duality is picking a side, and that is a mental construction. Opposites are what binds human existence, and there is only one single line.
And Truth Seeker said, ultimately there is only one line. Ultimately all is one. But we live in a temporary illusion That's why there is duality. It's like the finite numbers. They are an illusion compared to infinity. When you add them to infinity, you still get infinity.
As I say, the notion of duality and picking a side is a man-made creation, not God's. Duality equals pick a side, which causes imbalance.
And Truth Seeker said, there needs to be duality for things to exist.
Not duality, but opposites, contentious opposites, and they work against a spindle or an access point. And this is what causes the action or the spin or the contention. Opposites are what bind human existence.
And Truth Seeker said, it's like if you were only going up without ever going down. It would appear as if you were stationary. There would need to be a down to understand up. And duality is temporary and an illusion. Once we return to heaven, it will be unity, singularity. But until then, duality will persist.
The idea that we ever left heaven is an outcome of our mental notions of picking a side. Heaven, hell, earth are co-located within our body and around us. We are in a singularity now.
And Truth Seeker said, heaven is what comes at the end of the universe. Heaven doesn't come after human death, but universal death. At the end of the universe, everything will be pure light. Physics says light. In light, there is no space or time, so it will be a singularity, a unity, a heaven.
Well, that would be if you picked light over dark. And again, picking a side leaves you at the halfway mark and you never get completion. The picking of light then avoids the darkness, which under your skin and before the creation of the universe, everything was dark. So how can dark be bad when it represents unity and then light represents the separations? As I said before, we are in heaven now.
And Truth Seeker said, surely this isn't heaven.
Oh, it is.
And Truth Seeker said, it's a blessing to exist, but not heaven. Too much suffering in the world.
And that's the choice of picking a side, because we are in heaven now.
And Truth Seeker said, why do you think that?
Well, I can prove it because the 0 point is the axis of the universe, and a fragment of the axis of the universe is occupied by every pulsing heart. We are in heaven now.
And Truth Seeker said, why is there suffering then? Doesn't that kind of go against heaven? I thought heaven was perfect.
Well, going against heaven is picking a side, and the word suffer proves to us that it's a choice. It's proven by parsing the word suffer and via observation. The Bible that gets referred to all the time has some truth in it, but it's also packed with omissions and lies.
And Truth Seeker said, so do you think heaven is all that exists?
What I said is that all of our experiences and all of our outcomes are co-located.
The Truth Seeker said, oh, I see. So it's like the order within the chaos.
Yes, but the chaos comes first and the order comes second.
The Truth Seeker said, maybe people altered the Bible so they could control people.
Well, Christianity was a Roman invention and a New World Order, a one-world religion takeover and capture of the truth of the human's reason for existence.
And someone else came in and said, can you define truth, please?
Knowing, or as it used to be called, gnosis, knowing yourself and God. We don't do deities or personifications of the creator of all things. The messianic complex removes the MC quality of self-authority from the unique human. The master of ceremony is the MC.
And we said feminine obscurity is from placing it into the dark. And we say, acquire knowledge of your true nature and then apply it. Claim self-determination in all matters. Reject undemonstrated claims and consider them lies or mistruths, you can be cured and restored any time. When you earn the knowledge from solid grounding of validated, demonstrated, observable reality, then it is known and owned. Thus, no belief, theory, or faith is needed or desired.